Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to do my February wrap up in the book department. And first off, I just want to say that I have been a little bit under the weather for the past few days, so that explained my voice, but I really wanted to bring this video out for you guys as soon as possible. Yeah, we are going to make this work. The first book that I've read this month is Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book in our trilogy, and if you've seen my January wrap-up, you know that our first book in that trilogy was a 5-star for me. This was also a 5-star. So at this point, this trilogy, the two books that I've read have been 5-star. I love this world so much. Another thing that I love is that we start exactly where we finished in book 1, so that's nice because we don't have a big gap and then they have to explain you what happened. We start right where we stopped, and the cool thing is that since this trilogy is complete, you can go through all of the 3 books at once. I don't know about the third book because I still have to read this one, but we finished the second book on a cliffhanger, and I mean, I love this so much. I don't have anything bad to say. I love the banter between Evangeline and the prince. I love the quest that they're on. I love that it's kind of a romance. Like, we know that there is something that's going to happen, but it's still a slow pace, but it's not a slow pace as in, come on, let's get to it. It's like, we know something good is going to happen. So that's why I'm really excited to read the third book in that trilogy. We are still following, like I said, Evangeline and the prince throughout their quests, and I'm not gonna tell too much just because I want to make sure that I don't give any spoiler in these kind of videos. If you want to have a fantasy romance that isn't hard to get into, like the world building isn't 2 or 3 books like some other books, don't get me wrong, I love these books too. This one is easy to read, it's easy to understand. Like I said in my previous video, you don't have to read Caraval to understand the world. At least I didn't read Caraval before reading that trilogy from Stephanie Garber. If you want to read something a little bit magical, romance, that is fast-paced, that has an amazing plot, I highly recommend this book. I gave it 5 stars. The next 2 books, I have been influenced by TikTok. So the first book I've seen so many times being recommended, and here in Canada, it's -13, okay? So I'm gonna say over here what it is just because I know that most of you guys are from the United States, but yeah, it's cold. I wanted to have a book that would make me feel like summer was just around the corner. So I thought, what better book than this one that is set at Martha's Vineyard. This book, we follow a girl who lost her big sister a little bit more than a year ago. They used to go to Martha's Vineyard as a family every single summer or every other summer, and now she has to go back to Martha's Vineyard for her cousin wedding, and she also just broken up with her boyfriend. Thus far the story is interesting, right? You know that there is going to be romance and summer vibe, but then when she gets to Martha's Vineyard, they end up playing an assassin's game, the entire family, and to me that game took way too much place in the story. And also the characters are very, very young, as in they just finished high school 2 years ago. I really don't mind having young characters and coming of age stories. It's just I don't want to be told that they just finished high school 2 years ago. It kind of had an impact on how the dialogue felt juvenile to me. It was cringy a lot of time. I didn't really like it. It only started to get good in my opinion around 40% because we started to get more background. We knew that something might be coming up, but still I feel like there was so many things to explore in that book. Grief, love, or like searching for our life purpose. We didn't get to go as deep in these themes as I would have loved, and like I said, the family game took way too much place for me. I was really expecting this book to make me feel like I was on vacation, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe I should have read this book on vacation or during summertime. That book was actually not my favorite. Don't come at me because I know that this book is really popular, but it just didn't do it for me. So then I wanted to do something fun with book talk and TikTok. So for a video that I am going to link over here, if you are interested, I let TikTok or Book Talk choose the next book that I was going to read. I searched book recommendation, and the first book that came out was the one that I read. The book that I got was Twisted Love. Again, this is super, super popular on TikTok. And I forced myself to read this. This is a series of 4 books. So this is by Anna Wang. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing these names right. I should. I swear that next time that I do this video, I'm gonna make sure that I pronounce these names right by looking them up online. But yeah, so I've read Twisted Love. The first 20%, I was coming from Summer of Broken Rules. And then in this book, I felt like getting way more faster in the story. The first 20%, I was so hooked. But then the spice scene came in and like, when you read this book, you know that most of the time the spice scenes are unrealistic and unhealthy. But yeah, I was skipping through these pages because it really wasn't what I was looking for. So why I thought I was going to love this book is because both of the main characters, Ava and Alex, have really complicated childhood and they came out to be adults who experience life very differently. And so Ava is the main female character and she has an older brother who is going away for a year. Her older brother asks his best friend, who is Alex, the main character in that book, to keep an eye on his younger. And when I say younger, she's not really young, she's like 20 something. That's the plot that is set up in the first 20% of the book. I really thought I was going to like it. Alex is a rich guy who has everything and more. He has so much money. It made me really feel like 50 Shades of Grey. This book is made in 2 point of view, so we have a few chapters from Ava and a few chapters from Alex. We get to see what happened to them when they were younger. A lot of time I felt like the story was overplayed, but I really enjoyed the background story. Would have loved to have more character development, but again, I know that this is a spice book. That's not the reason why people pick up this book, but I felt like the spice scene were integrated in that book just to please a certain audience, and the background story was really rich in my opinion, where the writer could have gone deeper in the story. That was definitely overhyped for me. It wasn't my favorite book, and this is part of a 4-book series, like I said, where you follow other couples, but I'm not gonna read the other book in that series anyway because it didn't do it for me. So this book I gave 2 stars, unfortunately. I really feel like the spice scene didn't bring much to the story compared to a book where I also have spice scene. I compared this in my video to Flock, that actually had spice scene, but I felt like Flock spice scene brought more to the story. It had a layer instead of just being in the book for the sake of being in the book. I would recommend Flock if you are looking for a good spice book, because this one, I still think about it to this day. Finally, the last book that I've read this month is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This book was very good. Coming out of this to go into this, I really enjoyed it. This is a young adult fantasy, a romantasy genre book. We follow the 2 main characters, Peyton and Kai, and we are in a world where there are people with powers and other people who are called the ordinary, who don't have any powers, and they are not supposed to be allowed to live, as in they get killed if people discover that they are ordinary. And then we kind of have the Hunger Games type of scenario where they pick up people from different part of the kingdom and they make them fight in this 3-part trials. So that was really good. The banter in this is 5 star. I love this so much. It made me smile so many times. I really enjoy reading this book. I felt like it could have been 100 pages less because I don't enjoy battles and part of the book where it's fighting and stuff like that. So I know that a lot of people like that, but yeah, that was kind of the part where it was longer for me. But I really love the character development, in my opinion, for a first book, because I know that there is a second book coming out for this series anyway. I really enjoy reading this book. It was so good to finish the month with Powerless. I gave this book 4.5 stars just because at one point I wasn't reaching for the book as much as I did at the beginning of the book. I feel like the world building is amazing. It isn't hard to understand. There isn't too many characters to remember like other books. If you are looking for a good fantasy romance, I highly suggest Tiffany Garber's series or Powerless, because you are going to love this for sure if you love romantasy books. For those who are asking, because this is something that I get asked a lot, what I'm currently reading. So I am currently reading The Housemaid, and I've seen this so much on social media. I'm like 30% through this book, and Frida McFerrin is amazing. Her writing style is my jam. I love her so much. So yeah, this is really good, but I'm going to do a complete review in my next month wrap up. I'm actually also listening to Spare as an audiobook. I started this month, but it's something that I listen while cleaning the house or folding laundry, so it takes me a little bit longer. But yeah, this is so good as well. So that is it, you guys. This is my February wrap up for the books that I've read in February. I would love to know what was your favorite book in February, if you have any recommendation for me. Also for my next month wrap up, what I should be reading. If you like this kind of video, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel and myself as a content creator. If you are new, welcome. I'm so excited that you are here. It would mean the world to me if you could subscribe. If you are already a subscriber, I'm so grateful for you guys. I love filming this video. It makes me so happy and brings so much joy into my life. So yeah, thank you for being here. But otherwise, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you guys in my next video.